If you're anything like me, technology and budgeting apps do make a lot of things easier, but there is a couple things that you have to remember when safeguarding your information. Number one, guys, you're putting all of your financial data into an application. You have to make sure that it is not on public websites, that it is not on public Wi-Fi. In addition, you have to make sure that you're not remembering or saving any of those passwords for all of these financial apps, because it can give people access to information. Using the Remember Me feature, definitely not what you want to do. Never clicks on links, never click on emails that are emailed to you or text to you. Text messaging, we're seeing an incredible amount of fraud when it comes to the financial industry. And also looking at security features within the budgeting app, making sure that it does protect your information, that it is encrypted, that it uses two-factor authentication, are just some of the basic ways to get that protection covered. Now, of course, the big follow-up question to this is budgeting apps really worth it? Now, a lot of people, again, very reliant on the technology. When it comes to the budgeting apps, it has some really good points to it, but there are some solid cons when it comes to the app. Now, looking at the pros first, of course, you can track your spending. This is one of the biggest things, guys. You can seamlessly link this to your bank account or credit union. Really going in there with your credit cards, track every single penny that you have spent, because what it's going to do, it is going to import all of your information from those financial institutions. Now, with that being said, a lot of places do not allow the app tracking to actually work. If they have, again, the two-factor authentication, every time you're trying to log into one spot, it will not let you log into the second spot. Second one, guys, paying your bills. There are, again, some budgeting apps that allow you to pay and manage your bills. They'll even look at subscriptions that you see in different places, help you manage them, help you cancel them. But again, similar to the automatic payment features that we see with bank accounts, you have to be really careful with this and making sure where the money is coming out and what time it is coming out. Also, the apps do track due dates. You want to make sure you don't miss any of these. Of course, if you do miss due dates, if you're missing bill payments, it is going to affect your credit, guys. It is huge. You have to make sure that you're following them, and you're following them really diligently. And then, of course, the financial goal. You can set financial goals in a lot of these budgeting apps, whether you're saving for a vacation, saving for college, anything of that nature. You can go in there and you can set goals. When you achieve your goals, you do sometimes get a reward depending on the app that you're using. So what is really great about these, guys? Number one, biggest one, is the convenience. With busy lives that we have, running around budgeting spreadsheets, writing things down on paper, just take more time. And that is the reason why, in my opinion, guys, when you get a pen and paper, when you actually write down everything on a budget spreadsheet that is outside of a budgeting app, it does make it real. It makes it not easy to change. It makes it a lot more real and a lot more, in my opinion, it has a real feel when you write it down. Now, of course, with budgeting apps, guys, the ease of use. Literally, you're carrying your cell phone everywhere you go. With a click of a button or a login, Face ID, fingerprint, whatever you may use, you can get in sync with everything that you have across multiple platforms. So if you do have a couple financial institutions, if you have investments, if you have credit cards with different companies, you can put everything together. Now, a lot of these apps also offer a really strong financial education piece to it. The financial awareness does come in the form usually of newsletters, of a lot of blogs, a lot of vlogs, a lot of YouTube content that is around the financial awareness and kind of the financial applications. And then, of course, you can get a really big comprehensive overview depending on where you're banking. Again, if you have multiple banks, if you have credit cards, if you have loans, investments accounts, it can pull everything together in one centralized location. That is very, very easy and really user-friendly to have everything together. Now, but does the app really work? This is where the question comes in. Are budgeting apps really worth it? Because as much as I love the cons, the convenience, with convenience comes some of the cons that we kind of see with these apps. Number one, guys, there is a very big lack of commitment with budgeting apps. You can download it, you can sync it up. That means you have to log into it, you have to track it, you have to go in there, you have to use the data that is prepared and use it in a positive manner. If you're overspending on your credit card, an app might tell you are, but if you don't take any steps and really the commitment to making the budget and sticking to the budget, it's really just going to be numbers. If you get frustrated with it, guys, a lot of people will just close the app, delete the app, whatever it may be, and then it is gone with no commitment on your part. Number two, guys, the lack of attention. This is another one where if you're not using your app, if you don't have those notifications on, it can really backfire with the bill payments. It can backfire with the tracking, with the due dates, because if something is awry in there, if the app does update and now it's not sending you notifications, not checking in, not logging in daily to check exactly where you are, could mean paying fees at financial institutions, could be overdraft fees, could be late payments, could be affected credit because of those late payments, which are huge. Number three, guys, the budget mismatch with the methodology. Now, a lot of you use the 50-30-20 rule if it really works for your budgeting methodology. Some of you use the zero-based budgeting. There are a lot of different apps, and most of them all just kind of put the data together. Depending how you do budget is going to make a really, really big difference. And this is also going to make a big difference when you get paid. So if you're getting paid weekly, if it's bi-weekly, if it's monthly, if it's commission-based, if it's freelance, this is going to, again, make a huge difference when it comes to these applications and exactly what kind of goes hand in hand and fits hand in hand. If you have a salary that varies greatly, again, week to week or month to month, budgeting apps can often get confused with this, making it more difficult to really assign the money where you need to, missing due dates if the money is not there. And again, this can be sending you alerts to pay a payment when you don't have the money to pay the payment, because again, it really does change depending on how you budget. Personally, I use zero-based budgeting. That is the way that I've always done it, guys. So I take the budget every single month to a zero. That is right. That is what zero-based budgeting is. Every dollar has a purpose. Every dollar has a place. That is what I've always lived by. Number four, guys, there is no accountability. That is right. You do not have a person. You do not have an accountability buddy. You can go ahead and close the app. There are no consequences from you not logging into it. At the end of the day, it is really on you. Budgeting apps can be a great tool to manage your spending, really figure out where your money's going, what you need to improve on your financing. But most budgeting apps are only going to take you so far without the personal commitment of you really stepping up, taking accountability with yourself, and having possibly another person take accountability with you. That will make a big difference. And then, of course, the financial behaviors, guys. Applications, again, are just that. It is an application. It is a tool. It does not really know the financial behaviors and the things that you're spending. If you're taking out cash and spending it on things that are not being put into the app, there can be holes in the budget. There can be gaps in the budget, or this might even give you a really big realization of, hey, you are overspending, you have poor financial habits, and you're overspending in a very, very consistent, consecutive manner, meaning that essentially you're going to get to the point where you cannot borrow any more money, where the money is going to be gone from overspending. Now, some of the big tips, guys, when you're using these applications, know what you need it for. This is huge. Before downloading the budgeting app, what do you want to get out of it? What are you going to use it for? What is really the realistic expectation of using an application? Is it going to be the save all in kind of the fill in for the budgeting? Or is it just going to be a tool that you're going to have on the side that you're kind of using in conjunction with a lot of other methods? Comparing app features. This is another one, guys. You have to be very, very careful because a lot of applications that you're using will have items in there, credit cards in there, different checking accounts, financial institutions, a lot of investment parts. There are a lot of things in these applications that are built in that they are trying to sell you. You have to do your research with these companies, guys. You have to make sure it's going to be beneficial for your situation, because a lot of times, again, an app, a budgeting app especially, is not going to tell you the full story of signing up for credit cards, pulling your credit, also the financial data. You have to make sure, again, that you know the source that it's coming for. Keeping a regular check-in. This is another part. If you go a couple weeks without checking in with the application, a lot of times the data in there can be kind of mismatched, or maybe everything is not linking together, because usually with most of these apps, what I've seen is they do not import the information every single day, meaning that you might get a check-in once a week. If you're not doing it daily, if you're not doing it, let's say you're logging in every 2 weeks, the chances of it accurately tracking all of the information or taking an incredible amount of time to update or import all of that information can be very detrimental. And the final one, guys, think big picture. If you're getting a budgeting app, this is because you're making the commitment personally to really get better on finances. If you're blowing out your budget out of the water, if you want to pay off debt, if you want to save for a house, if you want to save for a vacation, a wedding, this is really one of the big things, guys, again, where you can take accountability when it comes to these applications and knowing exactly what you're going to use. So, all right, guys, so that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.